Part 6, Chapter 1 of the Manxman. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Manxman by Sir Hall Caine. Part 6, Man and God. Chapter 1. The summer had gone, the gorse had dried up, the herring fishing had ended, and Pete had become poor. His Nicky had done nothing, his last £100 had been spent, and his creditors in scores, quiet as mice until then, were baying about him like bloodhounds. He sold his boat and satisfied everybody, but fell nevertheless to the position of a person of no credit and little consequence. On the lips of the people he descended from Captain Pete to Peter Bridget. When he saluted the rich with "How do?" they replied with a stare, a lift of the chin, and "You've the odds on me, my good man." To this he replied, with a roll of the head and a peal of laughter, "Have I now? But you'll die for all." Ballajora Chapel had been 3 months rehearsing a children's cantata entitled "Under the Palms," and building an arbour of palm branches on a platform for Pete's rugged form to figure in, but Cæsar sat there instead. Still, Pete had his £6,000 in mortgage on Ballawhaine. Only 3 other persons knew anything of that. Cæsar, who had his own reasons for saying nothing, Peter Christian himself, who was hardly likely to tell, and the High Bailiff, who was a bachelor and a miser, and kept all business revelations as sacred as are the secrets of another kind of confessional. When Pete's evil day came, and the world showed no pity, Cæsar became afraid. "I wouldn't sell out, sir," said he. "Hold on till Martinmas, anyway. The first half year's interest is due then. There's no knowing what'll happen before that. What's it saying? 'He shall give his angels charge concerning thee.' The old man has had a polatic stroke, they're telling me. Oh, the Lord's mercy endureth for ever." Pete began to sell his furniture. He cleared out the parlour as bare as a vault. "Time for it too," he said. "I've been wanting the room for a workshop." Martinmas came, and Cæsar returned in high feather. "No interest," he said. "Give him the month's grace, and hold hard till it's over. The Lord will provide. Isn't it written, 'In the world you shall have tribulation'? Things are doing wonderful, though. Last night, going home from Ballajora, I saw the corpse lights coming from the big house to Christ's churchyard, with the parson psalming in front of them. The old man's dying. I've seen his soul. To thy name, O Lord, be all the glory." Pete sold out a second room, and turned the key on it. "Mortal cosy and small this big ugly mansion is getting, Nancy," he said. The month's grace allowed by the deed of mortgage expired, and Cæsar came to Elm Cottage, rubbing both hands. "Turn him out, neck and crop, sir. Not a penny left to the man, and 6,000 gulden pounds paid into his hands 7 months ago. But who's wondering at that? There's Ross back again, carrying 1/2 ton of his friends over the island, and lashing out the silver like dust. Your silver, sir, yours. And here's yourself, with the world darkening round you terrible. But no fear of you now. The meek shall inherit the earth. Oh, God is opening his word more and more, sir, more and more. There's that Black Tom, too. He was talking big a piece back, but this morning he was up before the High Bailiff for charming and cheating, and was put away for the Dempster. Lord keep him from the gallows and hellfire. Oh, it's a refreshing saison. It was God spaking to me by Providence when I told you to put money on that mortgage. What's the Scripture saying? 'For brass I bring thee gold.' Turn him out, sir, turn him out." "Didn't you tell me that old Ballawhaine had a polatic stroke?" said Pete. "I did, but he's a big man. Let him pay his way," said Cæsar. "Samson was a strong man, and Solomon was a wise one, but they couldn't pay money when they hadn't got it," said Pete. "Let him look to his son, then," said Cæsar. "That's just what he's going to do," said Pete. "I'll let him die in his bed, God forgive him." The winter came, and Pete began to think of buying a dandy, which, being smaller than a Nicky and of yawl rig, he could sail of himself, and so earn a living by fishing the cod. To do this he had a further clearing of furniture, thereby reducing the size of the house to 3 rooms. The feather bed left his own bedstead, the watch came out of his pocket, and the walls of the hall kitchen gaped and yawned in the places where the pictures had been. "The bog bane to the rushy curragh, say I, Nancy," said Pete. "Not being used to such grandeur, I was taking it hard. Never could remember to wind that watch. And feathers, bless you! Don't I remember the lil mother with a sickle and a bag going cutting the long grass on the steep brews for the cow, and drying a handful for myself for a bed. Sleeping on it? Never slept the like since at all." The result of Pete's first week's fishing was 20 cod and a gigantic ling. He packed the cod in boxes and sent them by Crow and the steam packet to the market in Liverpool. The ling he swung on his back over his oilskin jacket and carried it home, the head at his shoulder and the tail dangling at his legs. "There," he cried, dropping it on the floor. "Split it and salt it, and you've breakfasts for a month." When the remittance came from Liverpool, it was a postal order for 7 and 6pence. "Never mind," said Pete. "We're baiting Dan Hommy anyway. The ould muff has only made 7 and a penny." The weather was rough, the fishing was bad, the tackle got broken, and Pete began to extol plain living. "Gough, bless me," he said, "I don't know in the world what's coming to the ould island at all. When I was for a manservant with Cæsar, the farming boys were ateing potatoes and herrings 3 times a day. But now? Butcher's mate every dinner time, if you plaze. And tay, the girls must be having it regular. And taking no shame with them neither. My sake, I remember when the mother would be whispering, 'Keep an eye on the road, boy, while I'm brewing myself a cup of tay.' Truth enough, Nancy, an ounce a week and a pound of sugar, and people wondering at the woman for that." The mountains were taken from the people, and they were no longer allowed to cut turf for fuel, coals were dear, the winter was cold, and Pete began to complain of a loss of appetite. "My teeth must be getting bad, Nancy," he whined. They were white as milk and faultless as a negro's. "Don't domesticate my food somehow. What's the odds, though? Can't ate supper at all, and that's some constellation. Nothing like going to bed hungry, Nancy, if you're wanting to get up with an appetite for breakfast. Then the beautiful drames, woman. Gough bless me, the dinners and the feasts and the banquets you're ateing in your sleep. Now, if you filled your skin like a high bailiff afore going to bed, 10 to 1 you'd have a bagain riding on your breast the night through, and drame of dying for a drink of water. Oh, sleep's a regular radical good for levelling up, anyway." Christmas approached. Servants boasted of the Christmas boxes they got from their masters, and Pete remembered Nancy. "Nancy," said he, "they're telling me Liza Billy Naclay is getting £20 per year per annum at her new situation in Douglas. She isn't nothing to yourself at cooking. Mustn't let the lil one stand in your way, woman. She's getting a big girl now, and I'll be taking her out in the dandy with me and tying her down on the low deck there and giving her a pig's bladder, and she'll be playing away as nice. See?" Nancy looked at him, and he dropped his eyes before her. "Is it wanting to get done with me you are, Pete?" she said in a quavering voice. "There's my black. I can sell it for something. It's never been worn at me since I sat through the sarvice with Grannie the Sunday after we got news of Kirry. And I'm not a big eater, Pete. Never was. You can clear me of that anyway. A bit of bread and cheese for my dinner when you are out at the fishing, and I'm asking no better." "Hold your tongue, woman," cried Pete. "Hold your tongue afore you break my heart. I've seen my rich days and I've seen my poor days. I've tried both, and I'm content." End of Part 6, Chapter 1.